Oh, and another thing. Let me go ahead and just extend my point a little bit from the previous podcast. Got over the little sappy moment there and really back in the frame mind that I want to get to. And that is the price of fucking food, man. You know what? Sometimes I get a little hungry. You know, I pay bills. I get to the point where I go and make life decisions at a Dollar General. Like, okay, I got to get dog food. All right. I'm limited on money. What do? Can I get food from, or get them some cheap ass food, which I know is not good for them. It's already dog food as it is. You want to get the best dog food that you can get for your dogs. If you love your dogs, for fuck's sakes. And, I don't feed them human food, so I want to give them the best dog food possible. So, yeah, I'm going to sacrifice down to almost my last dollar if I come home and I have the bills paid and I got the dog food for the dogs, then I will enjoy my potato chip sandwich and a Sprite, okay? And I will be fucking happy with that. And life shouldn't be that way. I would love to go get a $12 meal from a fast food restaurant. That seems to be the norm, whether it's from a Mexican restaurant or a fast food American hamburger, fries, and a Coke restaurant. It doesn't matter. It seems like $12 is the norm. And we just, $12, that seems to be what it is. And everybody I understand everybody's got to deal with it or whatever and accept it to a certain extent. But what happened to that part of society where we're like, no, we demand to go at 8 at the most, where we were, maybe 9. I'll give you 9, but 12. But we don't have that power anymore. Like, we don't demand it enough, I guess. Not that we don't complain enough about it, but the simple fact is our politicians hear it, they laugh about it, it's working, I'm accomplishing what I was getting paid to do. And paid by who? We give them taxpayer money to pay you. Oh, that's the regular income. It's the big bribe money from corporations. That's who has the politicians. And the reason why, for the love of Jesus and all that's holy, for the love of everything that's so scientific, it proves Jesus didn't exist. Whatever the fuck you believe in, I don't care. I care about some freedom, and I think that if you want that, and you want to be represented by people that understand your life and care about your beliefs based on where you live in this huge-ass country, then you need to not vote for a Republican or Democrat when you walk in the voting booth. They are nothing but tools of the corporate mind and greed. The Rockefeller sense of mind is what I like to call it, because it's been lasting for a very long time. This man literally bought the education system of America. This man bought the medical system of America. Look it up yourself. There's no hiding him. Everything that we have been taught to believe in this country alone is all rooted in how Rockefeller believed. And we live it, the American co-working experience. Working our asses off for shit that we make, that we need, that we must have. We overabundance ourselves with it. We become, hoarders. We love it. We love the show. Oh, look at all the shit they got. It's just everywhere. This is a crazy country, really. When you look at the aspects from other countries, country is nuts. Just depending on what part of the country that you're in. It just depends what kind of can of nuts you're in, Sometimes you get the mixed nuts, and it's really fun. And Louisiana's kind of like that. We got a lot of mixed nuts here. Like I said, we got a democratically led government, but the entire state votes red. It really, I can't understand how it works that way, but there you go. The boot state for a reason, because we're at the bottom, and we always will be the heel of this country. And I take a lot of pride in it, because when I talk about shit, I talk about it, like I said, from ground zero. I am the poor motherfucker that's out working himself for nothing, for the day. I find pride in what I do. I was raised by not my parents, but by my grandparents. And they were thoroughly overprotective. And so I have a lot of old generational values that I had to moderate into today's world. And I tell you, there is two types of people in this world. People that think on their own, and people that just do what they're supposed to do. Well, actually, there's three. And then there's the third. The third is just evil people. I don't care if they're what shape or manner they come into with the other two, but there's evil people, and they're on a breed of their own. And they just exist, folks, and you got to watch out. It comes down to it's all about good versus evil. And right now, our government, as predicted by our founding fathers, would eventually get to a point where it would be anti-people. It would be government first over people. But they left a opening for you to rectify that. And without having to go to war or violence in the streets. Silently, quietly, all together now, vote for none of the above. And vote independently for anybody that's willing to do the job and not go in and be bought out. We got to cut those ties. We've got to remember it's people that create business, not business over people. It's about the same way. Think about it. They're chasing $12 for a meal that you paid $8 for a year ago. I mean, they're almost doubling the price. That's insane. On you. On top of, everything. Because you can't just make the fast food restaurants change the price, because they're doing what everybody else is doing. It's the inflation. That's why your digital, subscriptions doubled. A little dollar more. Whatever. Everything went up. Rent went up. Everything went up. Your Sprite went up. Chicken nuggets went up. Fucking fast food. Salads. Up. Everything up. Up, up, and up. And people are like, well, it's because of this administration. Look, I look back at several administrations, and it's red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. How long does it take for everybody to come together and just decide not to do that anymore? Take a chance. Do something for your country for a change, instead of just taking advantage of it. Quit asking what it can do for you. That mentality is, if that ain't the literal assassination of JFK's way of thinking, I don't know what is. For a long time, that was just his speeches, that was a great president. And for being the president, the last people representing president, well, actually, I can't say that anymore. And it's hard for me to... I know you don't want to hear his name, and I'm not going to say it, but you know exactly who I'm referencing. Regardless, because I was a big anti-him from the very get-go. But here it is so many years later, I have to look back and say, well, this is how it actually played out instead of what I thought. Because I'm a human being, I understand that. I totally called that one wrong. Everything's so, whoa, wow. Because I thought it would go a certain way. No, it's fucking all crazy. But JFK was our last great president that represented who you wanted to be, the American people. Free and just, the pursuit of happiness, whatever it is. And everybody having that right. But instead, we are so culturally divided on issues that we have basically solved. We just need to do them. I think you can stop making more rules if everybody just did the original ones. Kind of thing. It's over-regulating, making up fucking things that don't need to be there. People can focus on doing things that they should be doing instead. I don't know. A lot of things can be fixed if you take away the misguided goals that our politicians have, because they're not goals of the people. They're goals of the corporations. And like I said, the Democrat and Republican Party are basically the same. They're a right hand and a left hand, tools of the corporate monster that's eating our country alive. And you can chop those hands right off at the voting booth It'll give us a shot to pushing. I don't think we could ever go backwards in price. That's why this shit kind of scares me. But if they can throw burgers out for a cent for 3 days in a row, or 50 cents or whatever, and just go back to charging you fucking $8 for it the next day, that's insane. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of just doesn't make any fucking sense things there, and you got to question it. And everything is really just, you're living in history. I'm telling you, history. There's a lot of things changing over, and it was envisioned over 100 years ago with John D. Rockefeller. Look it up, folks. Get into that rabbit hole. There is a lot of crazy shit attached to it, but the truth is the truth, and facts are facts, and his agenda was what it was, and you're living in it. It's his world. You want to break free? That's the matrix to break free from. Once you do that, you have achieved the American dream. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. It's a state of mind. Take advantage of it no matter what state of living you're in. Whether you're homeless under a bridge in the greatest country in the world, or you're living it up on top of the mountain looking down upon everybody else. Either way, it was that American dream, that opportunity, that pursuit for happiness, that opportunity. So what do you think it's worth? Do you think it's worth freeing America and hanging on to that? Or do you think it's time to turn it all over to a government that you know is blatantly corrupt from either side? It's up to you, folks. Sadly, it's up to us. I've already been doing my part. I haven't voted Republican or Democrat in the last 4 elections. Come join me in the middle. Let's balance this son of a bitch out. And let's come together to realize we got a brighter future ahead of us if we believe in each other instead of them. And I'm not just talking about politicians. Corporate money. It all goes together. It's all foreseen. You know it was coming. They knew it was coming. Go in that voting booth. Vote for anything or none of the above. If those are your only 2 options, don't give them your vote. If they're going to win, it's going to be by the least amount of votes they'll ever fucking get in an election. Hold true all the way through. You got nothing left to lose. This country, it's all up to you. I believe in you. But you got to believe in yourself first. I'm not scared to admit that I vote differently because I know my vote isn't thrown away. I just know that I'm by myself. I'm not going to win. But if enough people come over and everybody realizes that when you vote like that, you're voting for yourself and your family and a better life and something for the future, it's not a hard decision to make. You don't owe them anything. It's time to break free. And we got to do it together. All right, I'm done. But $12 for a fucking meal? How much more can you take? How much more will you willing to sacrifice? It's your life.